And once again, a huge thank you to all of our financial supporters who help us fund not just the show each week, but also our epic annual Christmas giveaways. The 87.8 Survivor FM Club, all your names are on the screen there. Raymond Normoyle, Petty, Greedy Peasant, Gone Postal, Jay Skillett, all the rest of yous. Thank you so much, especially our two new members, but also our podcast bosses, Kenny Baker and Cinnamon. Guys, you're both legends. Thank you so much. But a big thank you to our live show Chad, Roger Roaster, 2 months now, mate. Just know, though, that all of you are legends who, just by watching the show each and every week, help keep us going strong. Thank you all for your support, and we hope you enjoy this week's show. And we're live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And welcome to episode 166 of the DayZ Podcast. We are joined, as always, by our two sexy co-hosts. Cobra, how you doing, buddy?
Very good, mate. Very good. Thank you.
Good to see you here again, mate. Good to see you here again. And Archie, who's just trying to work out his webcam. How you doing, brother?
As soon as you said my name, I started getting that sensation like I had to sneeze. So I'm like fighting through that right now, but I'm doing pretty well other than that.
Interesting week, guys. We've got a bit to talk about, including a little bit of non-really DayZ stuff, but in our sort of spectrum that I'm quite interested about. But as always, we love to start off the show with an interesting guest. Sadly, we couldn't find one, so we had to just go with Cpt Sauna from Northmen. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, thanks. I'm honored to be here. You're just fine. Thank you.
No, mate.
The best you can find.
I've actually really wanted to get you on, mate, because it's something that we're very passionate about. You know, a lot of people talk about how modding saved DayZ and all the rest of it. I think personally, the community servers are just as, and in some cases, arguably more important than just the mods, because the official servers are okay, you know, they're not bad, but nothing beats a well-run community server, mate. And you guys have been smashing it out of the park lately.
Oh, that's correct. I mean, it's we did what are we, like over a year now, year and 3 months in. Started off with one server, and I thought, oh, that's going to be enough. Now I'm here with 9 and more on the way.
Yep,
Love that.
So, how long ago did you say you first started?
Well, the servers I started back in the Northmen, June 21st, I think it was.
Yep.
But I got into, well, I started playing DCS at the same time that you guys did back in 2013, 2014.
Yep.
And then I went MIA like 2018 when they dropped it to beta.
Yeah.
I was like, I had enough.
The dark days.
Yeah. So I got back in start of 2022. I got some like old wives. I wanted to relive Shannara's and all of that. So I got my old mate back, and I thought, well, we want to play something vanilla because the game is so different now. So we just joined the server and got to playing, and it really felt like the state of the game that we left it back in 2018. And so this was DayZ Central, was it called, run by a guy called Con. And yet they actually had this old school DayZ mod made by Quep and Dawan, so that, you know, you got all the 0.63 stuff, ambient sounds, name of guns and everything. So it felt very like the game that I was used to. So I didn't know then that the game on other servers was completely different.
I do remember that one. Sadly, it never took off the old school DayZ mod. The one is an absolute genius of a modder. He's just god tier. That guy blows me away. Some of the stuff he does. He's very, very underrated, very underappreciated in the DayZ community. And he's just a young guy as well. You know, it's just amazing what these young fellas do these days, Archie, isn't it?
Yeah, he actually helped me with that thing I'm working on for you over this week, like tracking down the files and telling me how they're setting them up and how they're going about hiding everything, you know. And yeah, I remember that old mod. I loved Legacy DayZ and
right.
just like the things they haven't re-implemented yet that are so like essential to the quality of life in the game. Like I know we bring it up every podcast, but like the leather crafting and tanning and dyeing clothes and stuff.
There's a reason why we bring it up every podcast.
Yeah, it's like, where is it? So I remember as soon as I hit up DeJuan, my bad, and Mark DeJuan, everybody knows.
Yeah.
But I was like, do you know can you make me a mod where we can still leathercraft? And he's like, I already got one, bro. Check this out. But I agree. I don't know why it didn't take off, man. People just want the mods
even the
and
re-implementation. But we're sidetracking. We're focusing on the Northmen servers here today. So, first up. So, what made you want to get into running a server? Because for those who don't know, like Archie's done it. I don't know whether you have, Cobra. I've done a little bit of it with my Dean's Beans server, but starting and basically running a bit of an empire, you really don't get much time to play anymore, do you? When you've got a bunch of servers, it's almost, damn, there's nothing out there I want to play. Let me make something. Oh, I've got no time to play it. What made you want to start your own servers?
Well, started off, as I said, on this DayZ Central, which started to die out. So, we really liked that server. So I stepped in to try and help advertise it, get it going. And that way I got into admin first and then head admin. And I started working close with the owner. And he taught me a lot of stuff on the basics of, running a server when it comes to XML files and JSONs and adding mods. So I started to do that, and also got the chance to start building my own server because I wanted to make a first-person server. So I started building that, and we opened it up. But long story short, the DayZ Central started to die out, and I felt a little bit limited on doing that server under him, so to say. So that's why I left and took that, what I've already built, and put it into my own server, like gave it a shot. So we started with that one server, and it's pretty much the same foundation that we have today. The vanilla plus first person quality of life mods, really.
Very good, mate. Very good.
And so talk more about the style that you're going for, because you've obviously hit on something that people are liking, because not every server out there is able to grow to the size that your community is starting to become. What's the formula, the thinking behind the way you've set yours up?
Well, I think it is because I started building it as I wanted it. I wanted to build a server that I wanted to play on, based on my experience, and then I would find equally similar players that wants what I want. But I mean, the first started off in June, and it was a hot summer, so it was all summer, maybe 10 pop. So we're just grinding, advertising, keep on, seeing every player that comes on, greet them, and trying to make them stay. And eventually, at the end of the summer, back in August, just last year, then it just started coming in more and more players, and eventually we hit full pop, which was 70 players back then. So I mean, I think what I wanted was this kind of close vanilla and this old school DayZ, which we still have today, as you mentioned as well, the leather crafting and tanning, and so I think a little bit of that, and just hard to say how we struck gold, but I just believe we did with the correct mods and system and community. And
because I've been playing on your Australian server since you opened it, or not since you opened it, but shortly after you opened it, and it's been great watching the pop in a relatively small player base starting to grow. We're getting 40, 50. What's the record been so far of concurrence? in a night?
Let me check real quick. But
Probably about 60, I think now, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm reliving the memories of last year when we had this on our main server. You once you get over that threshold, it's gonna be around 10, maybe 15 in the beginning, and then you're gonna come up to 20, and from 20 you're gonna go to 30, 40, 50, and you're gonna go up. But that threshold is just gonna take time, and I think a lot of servers might do the mistake of altering and trying to change. They don't have the patience to just let it grow, let it be. Try to mix up, and they take in players and they just blindly follows every single suggestion that comes in, and eventually just you're not where you started off. That's why Northmen, I never had a suggestion channel. I would never put in a suggestion channel in that sentence. But
I think there's that famous saying, you don't really know what you want. You think you want it, but you don't really want it, because a suggestion channel, as great as it is, can become an absolute death trap. Hey, Archie.
I tell you what, man, I know exactly what you're talking about. I absolutely abhor running servers. I just reopened our default DayZ vanilla server because people keep asking for it, but I don't even have time to run 2 Discords, let alone one Discord in my server, one Discord, let alone the server and then the other Discord. But the reason that I can't stand it the most, and I stopped doing any kind of mods whatsoever, is because you'll have 2 people that are so vociferous and vocal about getting all these mods on, then you'll add those mods to shut them up and satiate them, and 10 people will get mad and leave. And not come back because you added, or they'll say, let's get rid of this mod and let's get rid of code locks and just have combination locks. And then you get rid of code locks and 20 people leave just to make 2 people happy. So I'm right there with you, bro. I stopped even taking suggestions. I'm so happy and even though our server's called default DayZ, no mods, like no mods whatsoever, people are like, can we get some quality of life mods like code locks or maybe no vehicle damage? I'm like, no, dude. Like, what do you not understand? I'm not doing that. Like, why even ask, you idiot? That's like going to Taco Bell and ordering a cheeseburger. It's not, you're in the wrong spot. So I can definitely empathize, dude. I'm getting stream sniped by my cat. Sorry, I took a nap and he's worried about me.
No, that's exactly the point. And one of the things I think that's helping your server, Northmen, Captain Sauna, is you haven't gone like oh God. I hate having to be worried about the demonetization symbol, but you haven't gone full Tropic Thunder. I'll say it that way. Those who know the movie Tropic Thunder will understand where I'm coming from. But you've got a few things like the massively increased stamina, but it's still not 100%. You don't have to worry about stamina. But the big thing I like, mate, is the guns. You haven't. I'm trying to think now. I don't think there's any modded guns. You've just gone for the vanilla guns. You've added scopes, some extra scopes in that, and you've got base rating, so it's not vanilla base rating. You have to do the explosives and that, but for the most part, it is fairly vanilla. You've got one added door, and then code locks. It's not bad. It's just working well. Like, sometimes it's fun to go on these servers where you can run around with Shaytacs and 50 cal one-shot weapons and all the rest of it. But at the same time, it's nice and refreshing. Like, it's not my normal type of server. I'm famously into the cock and ball torture, hardcore grinding, all the rest of it. But I'm actually really enjoying even the global chat in game, which I've normally just like. I'm enjoying it.
Immersion breaking, dude.
It's working quite well though. It's helping create the community vibe, Archie, which is something that is hard to do. And
I get it for sure. Yeah, that's just. For me, the only reason I go on those servers is to make content trolling the people who play those servers, because they're the ones that, especially like the PvE, specialized PvP only in certain areas, they talk so much shit in the chat. Come meet me in the PvP zone, then they just camp the edge and wait for you to cross the line. But there's something for everyone. Everybody plays DayZ their own way. That's why I don't judge. And what
do you think your success has been for in that respect, Captain Sauna, like with the not really going crazy with the mods?
Well, I kind of think that I mean, in order to keep it vanilla plus would be, the quality of life mods. Pretty much you can add a lot of them, but my philosophy is that any bigger base building where any other vehicles or added guns, and you would cross the line into a more modded server. For our DRL server, for instance, that map comes with a few modded weapons by default, but then we also add the simple base building and stuff. So that I named it, Vanilla Plus Plus compared to our Shinoda servers. But I never.
I think you're going to get copyright struck by DeOne there, isn't he, Archie?
I mean, I don't know. I doubt it.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Yeah. No, I like the Vanilla Plus. That's the one with like the simple base building. That's the one with the simple roof, right? A lot of those base building mods are like, they should be vanilla. You know what I'm saying? Like because base building at the moment, I know it's a meme at this point, but it's more like base barricading. So a lot of those wouldn't even be immersion breaking for me. They fit the universe of DayZ, kind of like the bridges and ladders mod I made. I feel like, why isn't that a thing? So you could connect two watchtowers together or build a ladder to climb up on a roof. So I mean, that wouldn't even be for me. I would invite things like that. I agree with him. I see where he's saying that his boundaries are as far as adding new crazy GTA Z style guns and cars. So it doesn't. I mean, it sounds pretty close to vanilla.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a gray zone sometimes, and sometimes pretty clear. But I mean, going back to what you say, we have the vanilla weapons, but of course we added the scopes, as we saw during a longer time. That was a. If we come back to the thing about suggestions and stuff, but you can from time to time see in chat, you can see the opinions rising. And
right. Yeah.
Keep that for like 1, 2, 3 months before we actually all right. We can have a vote on it and just see if we wanted to add it, and that was successful. That's the same thing we did with the C4 rating, because that was just it's broken vanilla rating, especially when you have the build anywhere function to raid with the IEDs and grenades. It just never worked. Always every day we had like 10-20 tickets of explosives not dealing the damage because the structure was clipped inside the building or
I know DayZ Down Under were having some issues with that. You'd place a improvised explosive, and if it was like if the doorstep was just a little bit above and you put it at the bottom, and it wouldn't actually impact on the door. So there's still some work to be done with the vanilla rating. So I understand why you've gone for.
I mean, if they only made the IED worked as the C4 mod, which goes by scripting, it finds that it's attached to this object, it's gonna be destroyed. But vanilla rating with grenades and everything is just explosive radius dealing X amount of damage on an X amount of health door or gate or wall, whatever you want to configure. But
I like what Mr. 009's got in chat there, because I do agree with him here, and Archie said it as well. Cobra, I'd be interested in your take on this, mate. Server chat is very game-breaking and annoying. I hope you guys can delete it and make the walkie-talkie great again. Now, you've got the Survivor missions on your server, Sauna, but I'm a big believer in, like you've also got the map, you can see your teammates in that. Cobra, what I like is the idea that I understand that those functions are there, and, you could have a server where that's all just in there. But I like the idea of, okay, if you want to be able to see each other, you've all got to have GPSs and they've all got to be powered on. And you can the suspension of belief that as long as they've got them on, then that works. If their battery dies, you're not going to be able to see them anymore. If you want to be able to talk in game chat, you've got to have a walkie-talkie on you, and it's got to be turned on. Otherwise, you can't do that. You can't see those messages.
I think it's more of a 70-30 split, mate, from my experience, where true survivalists who play DayZ as a survival game will go for the walkie-talkies all day long. Yeah. They won't want them little pointers all over the place. I have started to use them on some of my content, but purely because I've got, maybe 4 or 5 players running with us, and it's a pain in the arse, end up shooting each other in mass PvP situations. But I do agree, mate. It all depends what kind of experience you're after, doesn't it? I mean, again, all of the big servers now pretty much have got, pings and markers and, got the group chat and all that kind of stuff. Yep. I do agree though with the actual server chat. I always turn that off, man. I always turn that off. I never have that on.
It's risky when you're a streamer,
at all.
though, because you never know what's going to get written in chat. And there's some pretty smart bots, and you've got some really cool stuff on your server, Sauna. With his chat actually detects if you type in a place location and sends a warning in the global chat that you can't
cool.
give away meta.
Cool.
And some other cool functions like you can't log off with certain items on you, the big ticket items, because there's nothing worse than raiding a base and finding out that all logged off of all of their raid gear. You can't do that on this server. What's your take on what we were just saying? With the need to have maybe like a GPS on you and a radio to be able to access those markers and things like that. Because I love the in-game map that you've got because you can't use the vanilla maps like that. The only option is to be able to go and use Iron Survival, something like that. But I like the idea of these, and I've seen it done before where some servers have it where if you've got a map, a GPS and a compass, it'll show you your location. It'll show you map markers and things like that. What's your thoughts on that, Sauna?
Well, we are in a little bit in between there on I if I were a player, I would really love what you guys were talking about, having the walkie-talkie, or you need to find certain items in order to be able to use these functions. But at the same time, the kind of service that we have, we do aim a lot of towards a lot of new players, new to the game, try to be user friendly. Thus making the game experience a little bit simplified. But of course, in a way, it takes away those kind of survivalists and a little bit more hardcore players. So that's what, since our main servers in EU and US got so big, we wanted to open up something just as similar, not a full copy, but that's why we made the cut servers where we just removed global chat, remove tactical ping, crosshair marker, and of course, if you wanted the map, you needed to find an in-game map in your inventory in order to access it. And recently, we added the compass function, which requires that you have a compass in your inventory to find it. But I agree with you having towards a more survivalist spectrum.
It is awkward, and honestly, I like that you're kind of a bit of a middle ground there, because there are servers already out there which have what I just talked about, and then there's servers out there which just go full on the full Tropic Thunder experience. You get in there and there's markers everywhere, safe zones, and all the rest of it, and everything popping up straight away. And I see you smiling, Archie.
I hate them. I'll say this, man. You're doing something right because your servers are full. This Ernie really wants to be on the show today. You're doing something right because they're all full, and everybody keeps telling me about the servers and telling me I need to play on them. Sorry, I'm home alone today, so he's being extra. I apologize.
That's all right. That's all right, man.
I know just how they like. I close the door on them. Feel bad about it.
Yeah, this one's like a dog, man. He has to be up my hind end and under my feet all the time.
How do you when we were chatting before coming on the show, you asked me, what do I want to know about? So, so part of the thing for me is the challenge of monetization. Now, we've always been big supporters of monetization here, because I firmly believe that passion is great. But passion dies off, and we've seen that time and time again with so many modders, where it's so hard for fucking modders to make money these days with DayZ. That passion will only last you so far. Look at DayZ expansion; they're still going. They got a bit of money there at the start, but I don't think they've got much coming in now. So yeah, how have you found the challenge of monetizing? Because the minute you start monetizing, then people start, they can become a bit demanding. They can start accusing you of being a sellout. What's your approach been to that, Sauna?
Well, I mean, for starters, since start, going into the DayZ and make a server was, never the intention of it's going to be successful money-wise, but I mean, it's the monetization is required in order to just keep going, and that's what we did, and that's what we in the early days we got enough to stay alive, stay floating, and then we got enough to keep on expanding and keep on improving and just keep on building to what we have today. What was the question again on monetization you asked?
How do you feel about it all around? I think you answered it pretty well. It's a necessity.
Yeah, I mean, it's necessary. I mean, it's required. I mean, as you said in the beginning there about community servers being pretty much all of DayZ. I mean, without community servers, you wouldn't have DayZ as it is today. And the only way to keep doing that is you have players and you have server owners, you have modders doing this, and you also have the community contributing to keep that going. So I mean, it's a good circle, and it's a needed thing to have. But I have not felt being limited on that basis. I mean, as you said about being a sellout and stuff like that. I mean, we keep it clear about having our VIP package, which is some reskins, some retextures, and Discord role, and of course it's the priority queue, which is also stated in the monetization policy. But a lot of players can come in, which, like you said, being demanding. They can have that attitude, being in chat or being in tickets, that they are paying and stuff. And as much as we appreciate it, they also get the value from what they're donating. They get the priority queue, they get the rules, they get something already from it. So we are pretty clear on VIPs that trying to find ways to be what's it called? Yeah, well, some try to get that pay to win experience or trying to, So, but
we just found I think I've got it on the topic here, but we just found out about a website by DayZ Kits where people are paying real world money to get items in game, and it's insane. It's madness.
I mean, doing that, you wouldn't be able to monetize it because everything you have monetized, because every year you have to renew with Bohemia, and you got to state like this and is what we offer for money, so to say. And then it's very important that if you offer any reskin clothes, like we had from the beginning, we had a different type of Gorka clothing for VIPs, but we realized, okay, well, it's not fair because even the camouflage pattern gives an advantage. Nothing can give any advantage.
Yeah.
So right now we have, all survivors spawn with a T-shirt, but if you're VIP, you can spawn with the Northmen VIP T-shirts instead.
Mm-hmm.
And just now also when we added the custom armband option or the nation and state armband option, if you're not, everyone spawns with an armband, but if you have paid for a custom armband, you would spawn with that instead, thus giving that balancing out. Same with the VIP knife that you spawn with. Everyone spawns with an M9 bayonet, but that way we can reskin, so we can't make it that non-donators just spawn with no knife and stuff like that. Just got to be a balance, and it's only retexture that you can do.
I've got a question for you, Sauna. So I've had quite a few questions around prior queue, and that's something that I've bought before, and when I go and do content, there are quite a lot of times I have to buy prior queue, whatever else. The fact of the matter is, how have you kind of coped when you've had a high demand for prior queue, and then you've suddenly got a load of people wanting trying to sign in with their prior queues at the start of a server at a busy period? Are you finding that a little bit challenging, that even the prior queues are having to wait a little bit longer sometimes?
Yeah, I mean, we had a few wipes where we had such a demand that we just had to pull it out of stock, but otherwise we would have some sort of inflation. So we have pulled VIP out of stock, but recently when we have more servers and we also made our priority queue be on all servers, we have seen that we don't need to cap it as much as we do. after a wipe, there is going to be queue for even for VIPs, so to say, but it's still somewhere between maybe 5 up to 15 minutes in queue. You will never go back. So there's not been much complaint about being in queue with the priority queuing. So to say, it goes pretty quickly into the server anyway. But since, as I said, and to your question about the challenge, is that we increased the price a little bit, and we also made it on all servers instead. And after that, we didn't see as much problems with many the high demand that arises after a wipe, especially.
That's a good idea. That is spreading that across all of those servers. I know a lot of servers that only do it for the one server that they're playing on. So that's really good to hear. That is that if you buy prior queue at the Northmen's, is that currently still the case? One prior queue gets you on any server prior queue. Is that right?
Yeah. You can go on Shannara, you can go on Livonia, you can go on DayZ.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
So, what about you mentioned before the monetization aspect and having to deal with Bohemia. What's your relationship been like there?
I mean, it's been pretty easy to apply for monetization, but response-wise, because when we want to add something or we want to, it takes weeks to get a response from them when it comes to that. Try to email them to get a response on, well, can we add this? Can we do this? Or how can we do that? And just have to wait. But I mean, when we send in the application the first time, it usually goes pretty quickly to be approved, so to say. So not that I had that much issue with them.
Sorry, I just saw a message in chat there, Lit. A lot of mods on Steam Workshop are demanding you pay them $50, $100, $200 to use the mod. That's hard to set up a new modded server on top of hosting cost. I would be curious to know what mods are doing that, because that's a very, very... Archie, I'll let you pop in on that one, mate.
Yeah, they're gonna get dick slapped by Bohemia for that, broski. They're not supposed to be. They're not supposed to be charging for mods. They can ask for donations, but I know they're very stringent about that. So, I mean, if you can provide proof that they're demanding money up front, I mean, bring it to one of us, me or Boydie. I don't know if Cobra's, got time to deal with it, but.
And it's a touchy area, isn't it, Archie? Because we support modders being able to make money, but they've got to do it right. Because
I don't support them gatekeeping small communities. I mean, there's already way too many ways that it's pay to win to make your server blow up. So then having to pay for certain mods on top of that, that's not for me, bro.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
I'm not really full up to speed on how modders have to cope with the monetization from Bohemia, to be honest. But is it like you say that they can't sell mods, or I don't know? I'm not quite sure on that part.
They're not supposed to. They can, like, as far as I know, the way it was explained the last time we had a modder on, and they told us they can charge you for their work if it's something custom they did, like a custom asset or a custom clothing item or a custom weapon. But they're not supposed to charge you. Say to change the color of the stamina bar, like that mod in particular, where as you're running, the stamina bar goes from green to orange to yellow to red, that kind of stuff. And if they charge you for it, they're breaking the rules. So we might need to pin something in the Discord, the podcast Discord, so we can refer back to that every time this gets brought up, because I don't want to give out misinformation, but I know that them charging that much for you to download a mod of theirs, I mean, that's like me editing, Goodfellas in my own particular way and then charging people to watch it. It's not my IP, so how am I legally allowed to do that? I'm not. So.
Well, even Steve, DayZ Expansion, saying there's a lot in there as well. So, yeah, look, we'd like to know about it, because we don't want to screw over modders who are just trying to pay the bills, because even modding, it's not free. There's some aspects of it that is, but when you're buying models and all the rest of it and that sort of stuff, it does become quite expensive. So,
bro, if you're capable of modding this game and creating the things that they can create, you don't need to be scalping DayZ players and server owners. You can go elsewhere. I mean, sell models. Like, ask DOJ. It's so hard to find good tree models. You know what I mean? Go make models. I'm telling you, make models, because as I'm a developer in Unity and Unreal, if I want to buy pre-made assets, I have to buy what they have, or I have to go to Sketchfab and get some free shit that's 70,000 polys and won't work on DayZ. Make models and sell them. I know a lot of times we try to play devil's advocate for the modders and stuff, but that's going to lead to a culture of people overcharging for things. I mean, it's already $100 to get a custom jacket made, you know, in this economy. So it's, you know, if you don't speak up and speak out, it's going to lead to a culture of embellished prices for everything. And they're breaking the rules at the end of the day. They're going to hold me accountable to it. If people found out I was using ESP on my streams to find players, they would all lambaste me for it. So
Yeah.
definitely. Is there anything else, Sauna, that you want to talk about, mate? I can't remember everything that we talked about beforehand, but I think we've touched on most of it.
Good question. Starting to think about what we discussed already about the monetization.
How's the vibe between the other servers? You got a good relationship with the other big communities out there?
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty close with I mean, all of them trying to help out. I mean, me and basically Vanilla are pretty much pretty equal when it comes to the server type, the kind of server we run. So both me and Arcane are pretty much chatting pretty often and helping each other out and doing that stuff. So from me and from Northman perspective, the relation's pretty good with all kinds of servers. I know there's a lot of drama out there and some beef and who likes who and who doesn't like who. But we stay out. We stay in the middle. Same with this kind of server we run. We keep it in the middle. So relationship-wise, it's pretty good out there.
Can I have free prio queue?
There you go.
No, I was chatting about that with Cobra beforehand. I don't like getting that. I understand why some people do, and Cobra had a very good thing. When you're a content creator who's playing on dozens of servers, it can get expensive having to buy prio queue for all the big ones and that. So I totally understand that. But
You're paying for it?
Me personally, I don't like doing it because I don't want to be indebted. I want to be able to, I've got some custom stuff now on the Northman service, but I pay for it. Didn't send Sauna a message saying, "Hey, bro, there's Boydie here on that DayZ Podcast. Give me some." I was like, no. Do that. I'm just going to say, how do I buy it? And
I'm not like Archie. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you the truth, bro. People are charging $20-$30 for a prio queue. That's Netflix. You know what I'm saying? That's Netflix and a Hulu account. And some of them are more. Some of them are like $40. You know what I mean?
Well,
and I'm like, I'm not paying that, dude.
Well, this is a good segue. This is a good segue, Archie. I don't know where you're at with everything, but Captain Sauna, you're going to want to hang around for this one, mate. Where are you at with your special spotlight investigation? Because this affects prio queue, folks.
I hate calling it an investigation because I hate cops. No offense to anybody, but my experience with them has never been good. But I'm pretty much done, man. I've got it all. Yeah, I've got it all sorted out. I don't want to call anyone by name. Like I always say, I give people the tools to investigate and come to their own conclusions. Right? I don't want to, lead anyone to any sort of opinion. But from what I've found, I mean, it's happening. I know how they're doing it now. I was approached as soon as I reopened the server.
Let's back it up. What is happening?
So people are spoofing their player counts. They always have been. And all you people who said I was a tinfoil hat idiot, now you look stupid, don't you? I have the files. I have the way they're doing it, both ways. I know exactly how they're doing it. I tested it on a private server. I went to the devs and reported it to them to let them know what I was doing to make sure I wasn't going to, on Boydie's under Boydie's suggestion, because I was like, nah, it's cool. But he was like, cover your ass, Mike. Cover your ass, Mike. Just let Scotty know, you know. So I let him know.
The same as
And-
like the modders out there, they sometimes test stuff that might break the rules. But I remember there was a certain line of code that they could put into something that would let the devs know if they were looking at something that they were probably doing it. And I just said to Archie, you just want to cover your ass, mate, here, because I don't know how much they know about it. But yeah, so carry on, Archie.
Yeah, so basically, you install a script. There's a couple free ones floating around, but they're broken and they do funny things to your server. They install. I'm not going to tell people exactly how to do it and where to find it, obviously, because that's just going to encourage struggling server owners. And it's hard to get a server off the ground, man, especially when you're paying out of pocket $50, $60, $70 a month and no one's playing on your server. Where's the incentive to keep it going? But
You should be wearing your press vest for this, mate, because this is like journalist level investigation.
I hate journalists. Anyway,
Hates journalists, hates cops.
There's no. Hey, the media ruined it for themselves, man. Oh, I like. Never mind. So they install this DLL file. Sorry, Delta Lima Lima file, and then there's another text file that comes with it, and they can set however many players they want, and then it dynamically changes. You don't have to restart the server, so you can go on there and you can set it to 30, and if you have 11 players, after a couple minutes it's going to reflect as 41. Does that make sense?
Now, where most people are hearing this are probably going, okay, but that's not that bad. They're just bumping their player numbers up to make it look more populated, to get people on. Yeah, this isn't that bad of a thing, but there's a rather malicious aspect to this, Archie, which is
So
regarding prior queue.
There's another step that I'm going to leave out because, again, I don't want to encourage people to do this, but I'll probably be making a video on it to these cats, dude. I'm sorry to break it all down and show why it's a big deal. They're driving me nuts. My wife adopted a kitten, and she's like so vocal. I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah. So the other step is it queries Steam and tells Steam, hey, there's this many people on, and you can still join in even if there's if the server says it's full. There's another step that they do to where it tells Steam there's actually that spot's being held. It's not just faking the number. So then it would push you up in the queue, so you'd actually have to wait. So you could set your 50 pop server to 51. Then everyone who comes has to wait in the queue, right? Or say you set it to 45. So then there's 6 players on, and you got to wait in the queue. And so people will buy priority queue to jump to the front of that line. And a lot of, I've had this hunch for years. I know I've brought it up on the podcast before. I just didn't care enough to look into it because everyone always rolls their eyes when you bring it up, just like exploiting views.
They roll their eyes for 2 reasons, Archie. There's the people out there who don't believe it happens and just think you're full of shit, and then there's the ones who don't want it to be known that it's happening. It's a bit like view bots on streams. People are doing it. Do we have definitive proof? No, unless you can get receipts of people who are buying the view bots, you don't know. But you could look at the evidence and you can make an informed guess yourself, And it's the same with these servers. Like Facility just said in chat, you're jumping on a 60, 80 pop server, running around for hours, and you're not seeing, you're not hearing, you're not seeing, there's
That's
nothing
what
happening.
Turned me. The thing is, we all know how long human meat stays on the ground when you chop a body up, right? Way long. And then you'll see no piles of meat, no dead infected, no shots. You'll see no players, no picked up and dropped loot. Everything is still exactly where it was because they're spoofing. And I understand the incentive. It's hard to start and run servers, but a lot of these people they're not just cheating that way, right? They're not just embellishing their accounts that way. They're paying to win because it's not free, the file, and they have to update it every time there's a patch or every time it breaks, right? So that's the reason people are buying it. Someone came to me and offered to sell it to me. I guess they didn't know I was on the podcast and how vociferous and adamant I am about these people just being fair to the server owners who have spent $500, $600, $700, $1,000 out of pocket to try to create a community and an environment, and they can't because their server's getting DDoSed by the competition, or their competition is looking at their player count and embellishing it so it looks like they're more populated than they are. And I tested it. It works. It's 100% happening. I'm probably going to put a video out on it. Like I said, I don't want to name any names, but I'll say this. A lot of these servers that say, we don't want bases, you don't see people because they're in their bases hiding. No one sits in their base unless it's a PvE server and they can decorate it like Fallout 76 for 2-3 hours a day. Anyone who's ever had CF Tools admin access can look and see most people are running right past each other and not even realizing it. They're totally blissfully unaware. No one is sitting in their base all day long reorganizing their gear and just looking at TikTok. It's not happening. Some people go to sleep with their headsets on. Those ultra dedicated gamers that want to know if they're getting raided. They turn their speakers up on their computer if anyone still has speakers for their PC. But no one is just camping their bases like that. So that's why I got so sick of hearing that, and I just started looking into it. And the servers that you think are empty are fucking empty. They're literally empty. You can check Battlemetrics and compare the reported Steam player counts to the Battlemetric Steam player charts, and it'll tell you. But now what they're doing is they're unlisting their servers from Battlemetrics, so you can't check it, which is a huge red flag. Because why would you do that unless you were hiding something?
Well, I also saw, Archie, did you look at this, right? So DZSA launcher gives you the number on. I used to switch from DZSA to the normal launcher, and now they give you the player numbers on the normal launcher. Sometimes there's a sync issue there. So, for instance, I checked on one yesterday, right? DZS, and this, I've got them side by side. DZSA had one server at 51. Steam had it at 3. The same server. So I was looking at it going, but I've got a little list going now because, as Facility's saying, over the last year and a half, when I'm streaming, if we don't hear anything, don't see anything, nothing at all, for half an hour to 45 minutes, I make a little list of that. I'll make a little note of that, and I never go back on those servers. But the fact is, this is a massive bloody problem. Huge
I got
problem.
one more point to raise before we move on.
Have a look at what I've just shared. So Mackay just sent me a DM. I've censored this stuff out because, one thing, like Archie said, we're not naming names here because we want to be able to speak to some of these people that we suspect are doing it.
I know. I don't plan on outing anyone. And the thing is, it's happening, and I'm kind of just vindicating myself here because people claim that I make shit up.
This is a server that is admitting they're doing it in their Discord.
Yeah. I've just read that, yeah.
To reach out with a whatever is hard these days. Too many server is faking their numbers. To compete with them, we need to do what's necessary. This has helped us growing our rank and player base to become the biggest or one of the biggest servers. Our servers have 50 to 60 players in prime time, 20 to 40 at night time. Our server is never empty, and we are ranked as one of the top 100 in the world out of 44,000 other servers. Thanks for asking, and enjoy our server.
Yeah, what's the difference in this and just like DDoSing other servers so you don't have to compete?
Yeah.
It's this exact same thing. And
Sauna, what do you think, mate, as a server owner of a fairly big server? What do you think of people doing this?
I mean, in the long run, if anyone would do this, I mean, that's server suicide. I mean, it's the same as you would take a love potion and give it to a woman or a man.
That's a good comparison.
Once that love potion wears off, they're gonna be what the fuck. So like the same thing that you say there, where they pay for priority queue and the server's not even full. I mean, if you want to run in the long run, that's not gonna be sustainable because you pretty much screwed over the players that you already got. And I mean, we suffered from this before we opened our Livonia server, I think, because then there was like, oh, you guys opened a Livonia server, and then you check DCSA, you have the Northmen's Livonia, and the pop was 79 out of 80. But you saw that there was a different mod pack there, so you got sent to another server. So you got sent to some Russian server instead, because they have the inside the mod pack, the same as we have in our main menu, you have what type of IP you would connect to. So you will get sent to their servers, but it would look like our server instead.
There.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, long run, if anyone would want to do this, I mean, not successful at all.
Oh, I completely agree, mate.
So I mean,
if you're willing to pay for that over 6 months, and your server ain't got really anyone on, I mean, what are you getting? Free prior queues out of that? I mean, come on.
I mean, that's the whole point, though, is it incentivizes the scamming. Like my grandfather used to say when I was a kid, stick to the small shit and you'll never get caught. These people get too fucking greedy, and they want to just turn this into a business, because that's what it is. I mean, you want to get a return on your investment at the end of the day.
I mean, hard work always pays off. I mean,
sometimes, bro, I'm going to be honest, man, not to cut you off, but look at the thousands of server owners that have came out and put their heart and soul into something and ran a server for 6 months to a year and just couldn't rise to the top because they couldn't beat the competition that was paying to win. I've seen it. I've went through it personally. I'm not trying to be, heuristic and contradict you. I'm just saying the little guy that can't raise money, that can't raise that $50, because you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. You can sell VIP packages like you do, which is, it's fine. That's a solid way to raise money. I love the Apex used to do that with the custom armbands. Or you can ask for donations. Either way, people are going to call you a sellout and say you're grifting because you're asking for money to keep the community going. Meanwhile, you're paying it out of pocket otherwise. And you also have to cover the difference if you don't, especially people like you, bro, that's got several servers running. I know that bill is fat unless you got a Deddy, and it's probably still expensive as hell. So
I mean, talking about me and Boyd talked about expenses earlier, about there's so much more to a server than actually just the server that you have. I mean, for instance, there's everything from CF2 licenses to, I mean, we have mega licenses in order to just store all our backups in between all the servers, and then you would have TC admin licenses, and a lot of things in the background that's needed. I mean, I have even Adobe Photoshop licenses.
You're singing my song, dude.
I mean, we don't do pirated shit and stuff. I have my media team,
and then you
Adobe so they can work.
Then CF Tools auto pay doesn't work, and you get locked out of your Steam account.
Excuse me for 1 minute. I gotta go and get a charger for my laptop. It's about to die. I don't want to end that yet.
It's Archie's doing a lot more on this, and I imagine he's probably going to drop a video or something talking about more of this. But it's.
I'm trying to tiptoe through the tulips though, because like I said, I don't want to incent. You got to keep everything at a 5th grade comprehension level. People want to believe that everything is on the up and up. You know what I mean? Try to convince someone the government lied to them. It's the same thing. When you playing on a server that you love, say you watch a streamer, say you watch Cobra and me, and you love watching our content, watching our videos, then you find out that we cheat. You're going to be in denial. It's cognitive dissonance. Mm-hmm. So a lot of these people will not admit that, they were had, right? Does that make sense? So,
and then there's also the thing, if everyone else is doing it, I should just do it as well.
Why not? Yeah, and I agree with that.
Which is why a lot of people view bot. They sit there and they go, well, if all these other guys are view botting, why don't I?
You can't. That's just, they look at it like you're investing in your channel, you're marketing. You know what I mean? And I get it. I get it. It has to be that way, and it's because. And it reflects the Steam player charts. You know what I mean? If Steam's querying your server and checking for your player count and it gives a false response, it's going to count in the player charts. So it's just like Twitch. What incentive does Twitch have if 70% of Twitch viewers are fake robot accounts? Why would they get rid of 70% of their viewer base and lose out on that ad revenue? So it's also, I get it. I understand why they do it. I don't agree with it, but that's just because it's against my own personal ethics.
I am back.
And Jonathan Bostrom has just joined the chat, mate. Said he's your head admin.
He's
Sauna's
head admin.
Who's head admin?
Jonathan Bostrom.
Jonathan Bostrom.
He's probably one of these ones who has his created his YouTube account under his real name. And, I don't know Cobra's real name. Don't want to know. I just know Cobra is Cobra.
Well,
Archie. I'm guessing Archie's real name is Archie, but it could not be. Nice. It could be something like Poindexter.
It's definitely Thaddeus.
Thaddeus.
Yeah. Well, I see Earth and Gninsturk in the chat. They're both admins, but I don't know. There we go. Jonathan Bro. No, now I see the message. Yeah, that's a head admin. Yeah, Bonus. Yeah.
Oh, he nearly got bloody sacked then.
No, he's just doxed himself for everyone. So all the people he's banned in the past are now going to go stalking Jonathan Bostrom.
Private your social media.
Just put a name up. I think my personal YouTube is just NQ Gamer, and but no, mate, you've got a great server, and it's it sucks when people are doing things like this. But like Archie said, I don't judge too hard because it's hard, and a lot of money goes into these servers, and people don't like to invest all this money and nothing works. Thaddeus, I love that, Rays.
How did you know?
That's your new name, Archie. But yeah,
that's my boy right there, Rays. Oh man, that's my A1 Day One right there.
I can sort of understand why they do it, but I still don't agree with doing it. I've got morals. Sometimes to my detriment, but yeah.
At the end of the day, it's not our responsibility to call out and fix it. I'm sorry if I'm cursing too much, dude. I was a sailor. They leave it to us to figure out a way to circumvent this kind of thing and to combat it and to expose it to people. And I'm sure they'd rather us not say anything to anybody, Steam or BI. I'm not sure. The BI was very, as soon as I sent the DM in and sent them all the program and stuff to let them know, I mean, they were very responsive like they always are to us. I know he said he's having trouble hearing back from them. But, I mean, they're receptive. That's the word I'm looking for. So it seems like they want to fix it. But at the end of the day, it's left to us, and I hate that because it's a Steam problem, So if they fix it, I mean, sure, for every law there's a loophole. Eventually, they're going to figure out another way to spoof because I've learned about 3 or 4 different ways. Most of them are very crude, but that's the way that's the most under the radar. It's the hardest to detect. I mean, if they had like a DLL detector or something that could crawl on people's server, their config files, because that's where they install it at, and find it and then knock it off, or block the injection of data, then we wouldn't have to worry about it. Then people would have to legitimately compete. But is that ever going to happen? I doubt it. So
they're talking about whether they can roast you. I said, of course. Hey, there's my homeboy Terry Crews in the chat. That always makes Cobra awkward when Terry Crews turns up. If you don't know Sauna, I've got a bit of a man crush on Terry Crews. I would totally go gay for that guy, but who wouldn't? He's just a big hunk of man candy.
Implying that he's not gay already for saying that. Yeah. Hey, we need LGBT representation since Lad left, though, so now we have it.
So we've got some other things that we need to be talking about as well. Let me just quickly jump back to the agenda. I've got to bring this up. Dead Matter dropped into early access. I tuned into Psy Syndicate's stream the other day. I love Psy Syndicate. I know a lot of people don't, but I do. I love his sense of humor. He's very blunt, and he basically said they've removed the NDA from me, and I don't know why they did, because it is. It hasn't gotten better. He basically was saying, if anything, has gotten worse. I take my hat off to Dead Matter that they're still going. They gave refunds, but why did they drop it into early access if it's as bad as it is? Have any of you guys looked at it yourself?
My dirt matter.
No.
Like it's $40 or something as well. It's not exactly a cheap.
Yeah, I said on Twitter, $40 is too much. Let's all wait till the 40% off sale to not buy it. Because right now, that's kind of like an insult. I'm going to be honest. There's devs that have made games. One guy has sat and made a game that was tremendously better than what's taken them years and hundreds of thousands of dollars. Road to Vostok, and I just played another one. They just removed it from Steam, actually. The Metro developers had it copyright stricken for some reason. I guess they're working on a VR Metro game, but it was a VR game kind of like Metro. And I don't remember the name now, but it was amazing. And one guy made it. And it was so much better than any, I get it. Dirt Matter was ambitious, but come on, bro. You took all that money, and that's what you came out with, I mean, differences in direction.
The dramas with Dead Matter are massive. The team is split. There's a branch of them off making, I think it's Venom, Vane. Vane is the other one, which I've looked at. They've got a free playable demo up on Steam. If someone could find a link to that, please post it in, because I support stuff like that. It wasn't that good. I didn't enjoy it, but it's free, and you can't argue with that. And you can give them some feedback. But
Vane looks a lot better than Dead Matter at the time.
But bringing up Road to Vostok was the other big thing. What happened with the Unity engine through the the week. What man?
Yeah,
What
I've
were
built
they
an
thinking?
I built an entire game on Unity, and I've spent like 4 years developing it, and then they hit us with. I should have listened to DOJ and went to Unreal, and I hate it when he's right, bro. But
Basically, for those who don't know, Unity have basically said that they're switching to, as of January this year, next year, they're switching to a method where for every person who downloads your game, once you hit a threshold or something like that, you've got to start paying them. And pretty much to a T, every game developer out there has just gone, wait, what?
yeah, it's
What?
not. It's the problem is that every install you have to pay for. So it's if they reinstall the game, or if they buy the game and put it on another computer, if they delete it and reinstall it again, you got to pay for all of those installs. So I'm sure they're going to remedy that in the future. But at this point, Unreal has just gotten so many more features and is killing Unity. So if you're debating on starting a game project, don't set yourself up for failure like I did and go to Unreal, because now I'm going to have to either completely start in Unreal or just deal with Unity's BS.
Archie, I just sent you a DM. Have you got that one? Another person just sent me a link regarding the server spoofing.
Yeah, that's the old one. So
Okay.
that one. So people were trying to sell that one as if it were their own. That one doesn't work. We tried that one, and we tried like 3 other files. I paid $150 out of my own pocket, by the way, to buy these from these guys underground, which they go on these forums and advertise, and then you add them to Discord and they'll sell it to you, and they only want crypto. They don't want to do PayPal. The one guy did Apple Pay, which is kind of silly because now I got his government name. But I mean, is he breaking a law? And I'm not gonna like turn him in, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's just to test it. That one doesn't. It's kind of broken. And they have to pack it inside BattleEye itself to get it to work, the BattleEye file. So BattleEye can't detect it that way. I probably shouldn't have said that, but now you guys know, devs, so you can like check it out. I don't know if the QC people are in charge of exploits. I'm assuming they are. But I sent everything I had.
Okay, you've just given me the perfect segue. The quality control people. What happened with the shotgun man?
It's just buckshot, by the way. Slugs work. I tested it.
But apparently, it's. I watched Wobo's video. It's also things like the blaze if you fire both barrels, and I think he also had 2 people firing in the video at the same time, and if the bullets are impacting at the same time, nope.
Projectiles invalid.
Did you see that one, Sauna?
The shotgun, yeah, one of many things that I'm so numb off from.
You can hear it in his voice, man. You can hear it.
It's like I'm not even surprised.
Oh man, he's done. He's checked out.
But the thing is, though, when something like that happens, like, did you get anyone send you a ticket saying this guy's hacking, man? I just unloaded both barrels of a shotgun on him, and it did nothing.
It's more or less they never get the chance to shoot anyone because the servers just keep crashing because something is divided by 0 caused by Bohemia. So, but no tickets so far on that. I didn't even know until I saw the video, and I was like, oh, okay, another thing for them to fix.
Have you had that
they need to employ Wobo in their quality control. They or they need to be giving him a bug bounty or something. For I swear, maybe there's a few people who are on the feedback tracker all the time, but I know I'm smoking his pole again. But what Wobo does for this community is so good. The stuff he brings to the attention of the devs and the community as well is just god tier good. If you can, someone please find the link. Go subscribe to Wobo's Patreon. We do it at the highest tier out of the money we make from the show because the guy is just... We don't deserve him.
Yeah, no, and he validates a lot of my conspiracy theories that for some reason people don't believe when I say it. Like when I say I just blasted that guy point blank on video. Oh, you probably missed. Then Wobo drops a video and I'm like, see, I told you so. I'm running out of I told you so's.
Well, I think what Bohemia needs to do is stop at that breaks, because if we look at all patches that they do, it's always, oh, there's a lot of fixes. But the thing is, they fix what they already broke with the last update, and it's just going back and forth, back and forth. So right now, when we're gonna get 1.10.3, we gotta have got a lot of fixes. Probably majority of them is gonna be something with the new pouches and bags they added. I mean, they just need to stop adding and just focus on fixing the already broken stuff.
Have you had that server bug where your explosives are spawning in armed?
Can't say I recall.
Thank you, Darkwing.
Instance like that.
Yeah, we just recently had one. All the landmines are spawning in armed, and grenades, if you take them off of your vest and put them in your inventory or your hand, if you unattach them, they blow up. I don't know what the hell's causing it. We did have somebody
I wondered if that's a hack.
Yeah, we had somebody compromise our Host Havoc server and deconstruct. But I don't know if they got in that way or what, but they've definitely done things to the file. It's weird. I've had people looking at it all week.
But I mean, just take the network bubble right now, where you have you run into some player, but that player is 2 kilometers away, and he's just standing there, and you shoot him, and well, that network bubble glitch has been since 1.21, I think, and it was supposed to be fixed now with 1.22, but they did not, and that's a major issue already there that they just didn't fix. And now
Okay, Jens Mac saying in chat, just landmines. I had it happen on Northman's once, but never again since.
Yeah, we wiped the spawned explosives, and everything stopped doing it except landmines. For some reason, the plastic explosive was blowing up too. It was crazy. I don't know. Anyway, I was just hoping that we didn't have some kind of someone installed on there that all up. But
Now, I've got two last things. One was, have you guys heard of the toxic bot?
no.
Oh, is this the AI bloody banning shit? Yeah.
So what's happening is apparently it's already been rolled out on Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone servers in the US.
Oh,
But
yeah.
they have basically got a there's a very, very good channel if you're into the techie sort of stuff.
This video is brought to you by Ground News. I vetted them for about 5 months before partnering up, and it does not have that power at the moment. I just want to make that clear. I was watching the video after and had to add this in post-script, but it will. I make my case later in the video, so just keep watching. That sounds like a bad science fiction movie. The robot overlords deciding who can and can't speak, and sure, it's just video games. That's true, but video games are now in excess of a $300 billion industry, so it's safe to say that the tech applied here also replicates elsewhere. Roughly.
I'm going to pause it there. I'll post a link to the video in chat, but this is some dystopian next level to me. I do not like the bad part. I don't really have an issue with it per se detecting, but apparently it's going to be set up so that it can detect and ban.
The problem with that is, mate, how the hell are you actively gonna test or aid test the van? You know what I mean? What are you gonna do? It's gonna be quite an interesting one, that, isn't it?
Sounds like everyone's going to get held to Twitch streamer standards, and I'm here for it. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait to see people get banned for saying Chinaman. I can't wait. You're all screwed. They're turning all the colonies into the UK. That's what's happening right now. We've detected that you've used antisocial language. Your bank account is frozen.
You cannot buy a pint of milk anymore.
Yeah. Hey, that's really happening, by the way. I'm not making that up. They just shut a whole guy's house down, his smart home down, because the African-American UPS driver thought his Alexa said something racist. How much sense does that make? You ever heard an Alexa say something racist?
Wow. But yeah,
it said ding dong, and it thought it was talking to him, the doorbell. Anyway.
Had you heard of that one, Sauna? Because I know you've got some smart stuff detecting words in your chat in-game. But what do you think of it going to the next level, a bot that can ban people based on it?
Oh, man, geez. I mean, to what extent this is going to take, like Archie said, it's going to ban people saying Chinaman, or you can go more of the hardcore R words, or I don't even know how this is going to work, or how.
How could they implement banning the N-word when half the American population uses it every day?
Yeah, I saw a YouTube video of a streamer getting upset because someone said it in chat and he goes, dude, I'm actually African American. And the guy still said, well, you shouldn't be saying it. And it's like, wait, what?
Let me police your language for you, bud.
Yeah,
hang on. You're too dumb to do it yourself. Let me do it. I got your back. Like,
I just shared on chat a funny video I saw that popped up in my YouTube feed, and it was the N-word pass, and it was actually quite funny. I might quickly play it. Because
I wouldn't. Honestly, I wouldn't.
No,
I wouldn't because YouTube is so sketchy these days, bro.
This is a YouTube video.
Oh, okay.
I mean, going back what you said about we in our chat where we config, but that's just normal config where we ban certain words in-game city names. We ban that, and we also ban certain racial words, racial slurs, and it doesn't matter who you are and who you are, what kind of color you are. If you say that, don't say that on our servers. That's just
some things just aren't good for polite conversation.
Watching? Yeah. So, but it's no AI involved in that. But I mean, AI is good tool for sorting out information pretty much and to find out stuff, of course. But it's also been fun now with all the ChatGPT and stuff. We've seen a lot of ban appeals and other stuff coming in. And stuff. Let's check for AI and see. Okay, this was 100% written by me.
For $50 a month, I can be cool and really connect with the black community.
From your heart.
Oh look, there's one now.
Are you watching the video, guys? You ready?
Yeah. Go on.
Skycorp presents a revolutionary new subscription service, the N-word Pass.
For $50 a month, I can be cool and really connect with the black community. Oh look, there's one now. What's up, man?
As a subscriber, you can say it to any designated N-word.
I love that sort of humor.
Solution to world's problems, man.
I thought that was absolutely fantastic, and when it popped up, I shared it on Twitter. I overshare. I know that, but that's just how I socialise, deal with it. But that was so funny. It was like, what are we watching? This just said in chat. But yeah, Chappelle humour. Darkwing, you should know me by now, man. I didn't say it. Even though I am 7 or 9% African, so I don't know whether that gets me an N-word pass IRL. I'm not testing it, but yeah. But yeah,
I'm selling that subscription model on my stream, by the way. If you want.
Well, my idea was I'm going to sell a C-word pass for anyone who wants the full Aussie experience. You can buy a C-word pass from me, and then you can use the I've got the Aussie pass for being able to say the C-word. So yeah, thank you for subscribing to Turvy. But yeah, that was quite funny. But yeah,
their whole YouTube channel is great, by the way.
Yeah. This AI stuff, man, is getting crazy. But the last thing I wanted to share before we do your spotlight segment, Cobra, is this is kind of my shout out for the week as well. Hey, pause. Don't you start yet. And I'm interested in your take on this, Captain Sauna, because I saw a comment on this video which really resonated with me. And this is a smart idea.
Intro, innit?
The greatest city on earth, now a spawn of jungle and ruins. They forced us out for the good of mankind, but the Ceph aren't gone. There is one thing left to do. Hunt them all down and take back the city.
That's some Tropic Thunder.
That's the Tropic Thunder. Sorry, man. That's a call back to an earlier joke. That's comedy gold. Sorry.
I actually like it. And the comment I saw on this was awesome. Banov is becoming the map for PvE players. And I actually think that's quite a smart move, because there's a lot of PvE servers out there. And a server that sets itself up and makes itself inherently more focused around PvE, that's a little niche that there's, barring, you could argue, sort of in the Molsk, but because of the effects of the weather and all the rest of it. But I think that's a really, really smart move. I think Cabello, the trailer is next level. Like he must have spent some money, or
was that the Crisis voiceover, or did he hire someone?
I don't know.
It sounded like Crisis. You ever play that old game Crisis? That's what those guys look like too.
Rory, I just want to address that, mate. You're saying, dude, it's not the same. That video was dumb and not funny. Hope it was worth the laughs. Mate, I found that funny. I appreciate that you didn't. But the guy in the video, who am I to say what they can and can't laugh about? Am I not meant to be able to laugh at something that, the African-American guy obviously was in on the joke?
Hey, Rory, you got to stand on your soapbox, man. Everyone clap. Good job. You got 20 virtue signal points today.
I don't understand.
We all respect you much more now. Thanks, buddy.
I don't understand what's so offensive about that, mate. It was a funny video. If you don't like it, you just scroll on and you find something else. But for me, that was comedy gold.
I cringed, I'm not going to lie, but it's Boydie's show.
I just thought it was a clever joke. Yeah, facility video was hilarious. Definitely worth it. You do you, Rory. I'm sorry it upset you, mate, but I think it was hilarious. But yeah. But back to the Banov. What did you think of that? Because have you ever done a Banov map, Sauna?
I have not, and I have actually zero experience from Banov. But I've been peeking my eye a little bit on it. And I mean, the whole PvE thing, I had an idea of what I wanted to do at some point, based on Derailed, maybe, is set a more... I read that Redemption inspired server, like have that PvE interaction with you have horses and old school Winchester rifles and stuff like that. That is something I would have want to do, but I don't think it's my playground at the moment to go into a PvE, as I still lack a little bit of experience with that.
Agreed. I haven't got to play on Banov either. It's the one with the UFOs, right?
Yeah, Banov is a beautiful map. It's massive. It's all landlocked, so it's huge. Rare. So yeah, I really do enjoy playing Banov. It's such a nice map. Cabello's done such a good job of it. It's even better because it's based on real life locations as well. If you check out his Twitter, yeah, it's awesome. But there.
Yeah, I played it a few times. Very good.
It is. It's great. But I like that idea, something, a bit of a story to the server, and yeah, it might rule it out for a lot more of the PvP focus servers, because, there's servers out there that just turn infected off because people don't want to have to deal with them. They don't want to have to deal with any AI. They just want to be able to run around and kill each other. But there's people out there who don't want to have to worry about other players. They just want to run around and team up and fight. And if you've come across those aliens before, they are, the first time I encountered them, I went into one of the bunkers with, I think, 3 full mags for a bison. I didn't last long.
Is it
those aliens are Banov, standard vanilla?
I'm not sure. I was going to ask. I think Lad made a weapon for Banov, didn't he? Was that pulse rifle he made? That thing was sick.
Oh, did he make the pulse rifle? Did he? Oh, okay.
And someone else did some work on it as well. I think Connor, who's part of the admin team for us now, did some work on it. But yeah, Rory, sorry to see you go, mate. But yeah, if you can't laugh at something as simple as that, mate, you're probably not going to last too long around here in any case.
Imagine going in a comment section and telling everyone your feelings were hurt. Let's just move on.
I mean, just love the fact when people are where they feel they have the right to determine what's offensive and all that. I mean, it's fine if you say, I find that offensive. Okay, sure, you do that. But if you go out and say that's offensive, I mean, who are you to decide? was offensive or not.
And he really isn't going to get any sympathy from our Facility in chat there as well. He's one of the most base people I know, Facility. He's really giving it to him. But yeah, go easy, guys. He's entitled to be upset by it, and yeah, so just.
But we're entitled to drag him for it.
Yeah. Yep. Now,
Cobra's really, you can see it in Cobra's face. He really is afraid that he's going to get raided now. You can't say that kind of stuff in the UK, dude. The old Bill's about to knock the door down to the flat, mate.
Cobra has
I'm trying to de-escalate the tension.
Yeah. And I'm just switching to another
you know what I'm doing? I'm just sitting there shutting the fuck up because stay right out of
Boydie will Boydie. Oh, Boydie.
Anyway.
That is a cool...
I'm sure you've seen motorhomes before, but have you ever seen one used as a base in DayZ? Well, today that's exactly what I'm going to try to do. If you step inside, you'll see that this is a mobile base. On the front, you have a driver's seat, and behind that, you have seats for all of your teammates, and across is also a kitchen. After the seating and kitchen areas, you'll find a nice bathroom, and if you keep heading further back, you'll even find your very own bedroom, which is great for resting after a long day on the road. Now,
that's awesome. Like,
I fucking love that.
I want that.
I love that. That is honestly it's like Archie's childhood roleplay right there, except no child abuse. It's beautiful. I love it.
Cobra, tell us about Nazar.
Okay, so this week I have for a long time shouted out the up and coming DayZ content creators, as we all know. But every now and then I do like to chuck in some of the big individuals who have done exceptionally well. This video was actually really good by Nazar. He was with Dozin, I think, on this one. And it starts off the normal type of all us content creators, PvP journeys. But they actually get into something that ended up being pretty cool. So they get a little bit lucky. They kill a few players, take a load of shite, and then they end up saying, do you know what? Screw it. Let's go and buy this bus. Now, I didn't realise this bus, do you know how much storage this bus has got on it? You can have you seen it? You can have about 6 barrels and Christ knows about 30, well, maybe not 30, about 10, 12 crates stashed in this actual thing. So you can respawn back on it. You can do all kinds of stuff. Anyway, they decided
you can respawn back on it. That's insane.
Yeah, it's some crazy stuff. They had a sleeping bag on there, I think. But basically, they went around the map in a moving base, which was that, hitting every key lock, every vault, and they get into a little bit of trouble. But yeah, I just thought it was quite cool. I like the storyline.
That is.
And the bus. To be fair, I would never have bought the bus. If I'm going on a server, a modded server like that, I ain't buying a bus. So the end of the day, I thought it just showed a little bit of difference, and I quite enjoyed the storyline. So that is the content corner for this week. So well done, Nazar.
That's definitely a break from the norm. I love that. That's what I like. I like because I wouldn't have known about that unless you would have showcased it. So thank you.
This is something that we were talking about in the podcast Discord. That there's a bit of staleness to some of the stuff at the moment, but there's so much content out there that maybe I was wrong in my assumption, because this is gold when someone goes and finds something that someone's doing that's unique or different. Like, I've never seen that mod before, the camper van, and I look at it and I saw you, Sauna, say, I want that mod. And I'm looking at it and going, I need to find a server that has that. Because I remember Marx's video ages back that did the how good the truck is as a mobile base, and that was good. But this is just brilliant, the
thumbnail was good as well. I actually have used this bus before, but I think they've upgraded it. I remember using this about a year ago, and the only reason I got hold of one was because I killed some dude who had one. So nice. I jumped on the bus. And I clearly didn't realise at the time, I was going around the back of it trying to open up bits to see what the infantry was.
That's how my grandma got her RV too, by the way.
Oh, there you go. So I was quite surprised when I watched this, and it's actually at the back of the bus where the beds are. There is a shed load of storage. You can actually walk into the shower on there as well. So you've got a PvP hide spot there. You can walk into the shower. So there's some really cool stuff on there, man. I love that.
That's badass.
Now, that's
maybe
brilliant.
an idea for my modded server.
And you can lock it. Yeah, mate, you need to get it, mate. You need to get it.
Imagine raiding someone's RV. It's like,
well, you would.
It's only thing it's missing is a meth lab, dude.
Does the barbed wire around the edge actually hurt you like a fence?
Yeah. So it can cut you. But
that's brilliant.
The windows, there's no way of blocking the windows, so you can shoot through the windows. And most of the buses have got those clear windows. But there's certain areas in the bus that you can get to, and they can't shoot you. But ultimately, yeah, man, that's crazy. Going around a full pop PvP server in a bus and using that as your base. I mean, who would have thought it would have been a base? I certainly wouldn't have thought it would have been. I'd have probably left it because I'd have thought I wouldn't want to. That's too much of a moving target. If you're not sure or you don't even know it's a base, you ain't going to touch it, are you? So
here's what I want.
Go on, what you got?
Oh yeah, man, you definitely would get blasted in that one. The old fishbowl.
Yeah.
The Stripes movie bus. Have you seen the movie Stripes?
Oh yeah. I just watched that the other day.
Yeah. It's got bloody armored windows and rocket launchers and all sorts of stuff, and just a throwback to Bill Murray.
I just want to be able to shoot from vehicles.
Oh, got to be careful. Bill Murray's a bit controversial these days. Might upset people. But yeah. No, that's great. I love seeing things like that. You know, some of these mods are just getting really, really creative. I found one on a server I'm playing on the Lux map that's got some really cool storage items that actually look like they belong in the game. That Lux map is brilliant, by the way. You've got to check it out.
Dude. I don't know why more people don't play it.
And
I love it.
If you know of a Lux server, tell them to add the crocodile mod as well, because it is perfect for crocodiles. Absolutely perfect to have crocodiles on it. But yeah, has anyone played with the crocodile mod yet?
No, I haven't.
No, I've seen a little bit, not major, but you can skin the thing, can't you?
You can, and you can also make some really cool custom Crocodile Dundee themed items.
Yeah, he showed that vest on here.
Yeah.
I need the boots, bro. I need the boots. I got.
Can you do the boots? I
know I didn't pay for boots, but I'm not sure if they've worked something else out. But yeah, it would be cool to have boots as well. But yeah, no.
Hurry up with the horses, Hunter. We love you.
Oh man, those horses!
As soon as you get that horses, I'm gonna do my Red Dead Redemption server. That's for sure.
Yeah, I've been thinking that like a RP on Bitterroot with horses, bro. That would be sick.
Guys, I think we are done for this week. Captain Sauna, thank you so much, mate. Thank you, Survivor. Tell Terry Crews I'll send him a DM later. But yeah. Sauna, I'm really happy with you got me to break out of my torture autism that I suffer from, where that's the only way I can play DayZ, and I'm actually really enjoying myself. And even though it's not normally my style, I'm actually kind of enjoying the global chat as well. The thing that kind of turned me around is it's really helping with the community mindset of the server. You know, people are chatting, and you know, if you don't have a massive Discord where everyone's in, everyone pretty much these days has their own little Discord. So it's a good way of getting a bit of that community vibe going. And yeah, so whilst I don't think it'll work on every server, it's definitely okay for some.
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, thanks for having me. It's been a blast. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad you enjoyed the server, and I hope to see more. I mean, especially the Australian server. It's been, as I saw in the Discord chat about having what kind of wipe event would be. And I stated that, we tend to use to have the purge event where we just go full on mayhem, no rules and stuff like that. But you know, the Aussies are so nice to each other, so I don't know how that would work. You know, I saw someone suggested to have some sort of base tour, guys. So I just imagine having 50 players walk around hand in hand and go shake each other's faces because you're so nice to each other. But
DayZ cribs.
Yeah, exactly. Your previous question about our record for the Australian server is 53. players on, and that was last Sunday. So let's see if
it's growing.
Our next Sunday is going to be more, and I mean it's real fun to see it grow. I mean, I'm back to where I was a year ago when I started with the first EU server, and just watching it tick going up. I have the same rise right now, even though I have 8 other servers that are full. I'm just looking at the Australian ones and being just very ghoulish when it's just starting to increase and pop. So
I have a question before you go, because I keep meaning to ask this, and you're a successful server owner. So for a new server owner or a small server owner that's wanting to dip their toes in the water and can't seem to break out, what advice would you give, whether it's good or bad or indifferent, to a new server owner who's trying to create their own community for players?
First of all, I said build it as you want it and keep it like, have a foundation and keep it like that. Don't bend to others, what others want, and especially how others have it. I mean, believe in your own idea and just let it be, and work a lot with, I mean, Facebook, Reddit communities. Just keep posting, and all those first players you get on board. I mean, I went on, chatted with everyone, explained how everything worked, stuff like that, starting to meet and greet all the players coming on. And also, I mean, patience is key. I mean, it took 2 months before we even broke over 12 players at tops. I mean, of course, I guess it's got to be some luck to it. I mean, as you said earlier about some being 6 to 8 months in and nothing happens. I mean, yeah, at that point you might sooner would have to maybe change something. But I mean, from the start, just build the server as you want it, find equally like-minded players, stay with your idea, and just keep pushing it. Facebook is great, Reddit is great, YouTube is great. DCSA has a neat function where you can sponsor your server to have it go a little bit higher in the search bar. But that would be my.
So it sounds like marketing is invest a lot of time in marketing the server. It sounds like.
Yeah, and I mean, and staying true to your original idea, so to say. As I said earlier about players, they're starting to bend to every single suggestion to come in, and then you have a completely different server, and you lose 10 players, but you keep 2, and then those 2 will leave because, well.
Yeah, that's what
and I don't know. I think also it's about you gotta meet the players that join, and you gotta, in a way, persuade them, or you gotta be confident enough to tell them to stay and stick around. It's been the same now with my Australian server, that I had these 5 or 10 players that have been on, but in order for the next player to come, we got to be, well, if you feel like, oh, this is slow pop, I'm gonna go somewhere else, but if you stay, then the other one will stay, and eventually you will get over that threshold, and it will just grow even faster.
That's good advice, man. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I've heard the best tip is for Archie to give me prior queue before the server blows up.
Yeah, there you go.
Melvin, love you, bro.
Thanks for all the support, too, Melvin.
Thank you so much once again, though, Captain Sauna. That was a good question, Archie, because it is something that a lot of people, they dream of starting a server. Really think about whether you want to take it on is probably the other bit of advice I'll give you.
Like
we touched on it, and
money.
Cobra just said it. It's a money pit. It will just suck your life, especially like when an update's coming out. It's a nightmare, not just for modders, but for server owners as well, because, the mods all might work okay individually, but sometimes there's clashes, and then there's so many different things that can, most big, reasonable servers, reasonably sized servers, they basically need to take leave, holidays, whatever, around the time of an update. And when they're so cryptic at times about when the actual update's going to drop, it's very hard for people to plan. And there's been updates in the past where servers have been down for days from memory. Archie, is that right?
Oh, for the updates?
Yeah,
Steam
when a big
updates?
update gets dropped and it just
It's
breaks
the mods,
so much.
The mods.
Yeah.
It breaks the mods, and then you have to drop those mods, and then say you have, like, it's a quality of life base building mod, and the mod's broken, and the mod owner abandoned it or doesn't can't be asked, as they say in the UK, to fix it. Then you have to remove that mod to launch your server, and then if it's a staple mod, then when you relaunch the server, everything those people had that was attached to that mod is gone. So say you have like barrel storage mod and they don't fix it, and you relaunch the server without it, the barrels and the storage is gone. So the player's whole base, all their essential items that they didn't store in an offline, in an alt character or on their main and their hands and inventory is gone. So
I would say a good tip is maybe start being a volunteer admin with a server and get a feel for just what's involved before you, unless you got big fat bank balance, before you go buying servers, because it's not cheap, especially if you're going to get a daddy.
For a vanilla server that has 0 mods and CF tools with the map access, I'm at $75 a month out of pocket.
Yeah.
Just for nothing. That's not with mods. That's not with, and Sauna's running, what you said, 7 servers?
9, I think.
And that's at 40 pop. If I raise the pop, the price goes up, So I would definitely recommend getting a Deddy or renting one, or going to Everybody Knows Dave and seeing if he has a slot available, because he sells server space.
Or you can just post the link. We've got Lid Hosting. Still a deal with Lid Hosting. Check them out. Run by an actual DayZ player. So you can check that out as well, folks.
What were you saying, Sauna? You're a little quiet, bro.
No, I mean, start simple, start cheap. From the start. Don't go all in with you have to buy all this and this and this and act like one of how the bigger servers run. I mean, start small and just go from there. It's also a tip.
That's good advice.
Next week's guest, ladies and gentlemen, is Ollie Pollies. Ollie Pollies is the creator of the Azalea DayZ map. So I don't know whether any of you know much about it, but give me 1 second.
Matty Ice has been showcasing it on Twitter. It looks really good.
Yeah, I'll just quickly showcase the trailer video they've got. That looks beautiful. City across the lake there or whatever.
That looks real nice.
Yeah, very good.
Got that summer Chinaris mod grass.
So I'll share his Twitter if anyone wants to find out a bit more as well. But I'm looking forward to getting Ollie on. We're spoiled for choice on console.
Yes, and there's a lot.
On PC. Yeah.
There's a lot of new maps coming out, man, that they're putting their heart and souls into. That Japanese map is coming along so nice.
Yes. Hashima Island. I actually just found out that's based on a real place, so I'm going to be doing some research going down that rabbit hole because I've spoken to them as well. I'd like to get them on the show because I just love the depth they're going to. What about just a quick one there, Captain Sauna? Are you going to do a Bitterroot server when it goes live?
What goes live?
Bitterroot, the map.
Beetroot.
Bitterroot. You haven't seen it? The map Bitterroot?
Montana map.
Oh man, you're missing out. Check it out.
Yeah, you need admins for him. Send him some links to Bitterroot. It's going to be the map that everyone, every big community out there will be having a Bitterroot map. Just a reminder as well that we will be funding a Bitterroot server for the Australians and the Kiwis. So we're going to have a local one in our area. We're doing that thanks to the support from all of you in the community who support the 87.8 community. We can do something to help out my neck of the woods. So yeah. Captain Sauna, thank you once again.
Thank you.
Cobra, Archie, a pleasure as always.
Yeah, sorry I was late this morning.
No, that's all right, mate. And hang around, Captain Sauna. We always have a quick chat afterwards. But yeah, all the best to everyone. And we will see you next week for Ollie Pollies on the DayZ Podcast, brought to you by 87.8 Survivor FM and Lid Hosting. Ciao for now.
Hydration.
Hail hydration.